Hi folks, I'm smoking my Frodo pipe by Vaughan, and in it I've got some bothy flake, which I'll do a short first thoughts on in a few minutes. First of all, some shout outs. I've got a shout out for Pipepufferuk UK, for Bradford 630, for John Wright, and for Traveller Mike, who's nearly at 100 subs. So it'd be good, if you haven't already subbed to these people, that you take a look and maybe sub to them and share some of the love that we have. And I'll put their names down in the bucket below. I'm still losing weight, which I'm very pleased about. I'm half a pound short of 1.5 stones now. I was a bit disappointed that I only lost a pound this week, but I did have a fish and chip meal out with Carolyn for my birthday. So that was really not on the diet, but very nice. Excuse me. I've been smoking some Lakeland flakes just recently because I got some Ennerdale, and when I first tasted it, it was awful. It tasted as if I'd drunk a bottle of scent, but now it tastes very nice, and the scent is sort of in the background and actually adds to the smoke. So the one I'm trying tonight is Bothy Flake. For those of you who don't know what a bothy is, it's a building that's built out into the wilds for people who are walking or who get trapped in the snow or something like that, and they can go into the bothy, light a fire. There's sometimes food left in it, in cans and that kind of thing, so they can make a meal and a drink. And there's, the facilities that you might need if you're trapped out in the wild. It's actually a very nice smoke. I would put it down as mild to medium, but it's difficult for me to tell because, as I've always said, I don't suffer from nicotine hits, so it's difficult for me to judge which is strong and which isn't. But it's a nice taste. I think it's a lot of Virginia in it, and that makes for a good smoke. When I opened the tin, it was dry, or dryish, which surprised me. I'll show you one of the flakes. But you can see it's nice and dark, but it's got several light Virginias in it, I think. But it really does taste nice. It's a nice smoke for an evening. It's a smoke that I could smoke all day. It was put together by Samuel Gower for the Curving Pipe Club in Scotland. Curvaig. Excuse me, it's just gone out. but I get no tongue bite from it. Which is pleasing, because I often do from some of the lighter tobaccos. But when I'm smoking my longer pipes, tends to be a cooler smoke anyway. I want to show you something that I was given at the Newcastle pipe meeting. It's a tamper that's marked with a sign for Gandalf on it, and it was the Northeastern piper who gave me the tamper, which is really very nice of him. The meeting went very well. There were originally 5 of us, but then a man came in to smoke a cigar and sat down just beside me. But not wanting to sort of ignore him completely, we did talk quite a bit. And he's also a pipe smoker. I told him what we were, you know, at the beginning of a pipe club. And he asked to join, asked to be with us. So we've taken his details and we'll let him know when the next meeting is. But it was really nice to sit and smoke a pipe and just talk about tobaccos, pipes, and life in general. And the Cuban Cigar Club where we held it were really decent about us being there. The rules say we had to buy tobacco from them to smoke in the back room, but we expected that, and they asked that we don't sort of exchange tobaccos that we brought with us or anything like that, because it was against the law, and they didn't want anybody to be the cause of them losing a license, which again is quite understandable. But they provided us with tea or coffee as we wished. So it was very nice afternoon. We met at 1 o'clock and I left at about 4. That was when we began to break up. Because Carolyn wanted me to call in at the Roman Catholic Cathedral and get her a booklet that they had. But unfortunately they closed at 4. So by the time I'd walked down there, it was 4:30 and too late. Things have been going quite well this week. Mick's beginning to recover. His bruising is now a lovely shade of yellow and suits him very well. But we're trying not to ring Pam to find out how things are, because we didn't want to disturb her time with Mick, because nobody knows how long they've got left, so Pam tends to ring us. Thank you for the response to my last video, which was the thank you video and the VR to Happy Go Lucky Piper. You've been very kind about the comments about things that I'd said about marriage and various things. At the moment, I'm reading a book by one of our members. It's called, well, if I hold it the right way up, it's called The Devil, God's Best Friend. And I must say, I'm really enjoying it. I enjoy a lot of what he says and agree with the majority of it. Some things not, but most things yes. So I've been thinking a lot recently about problems with mainstream denominations and religions, partly because I met somebody who knew my background in the church and asked why I'd left. And I explained that it was because I could no longer give authority to the bishops because I found most of them lied to protect the church. But enough of that. This Bothy Flake is very nice. I'm enjoying smoking it. Carolyn's reasonably well at the moment, thank goodness. And she managed to go out today for lunch with some friends from her quilting club. They went to a garden centre for lunch. And she quite enjoyed it, which was very nice. It gave me the sort of late morning and afternoon to myself, and just me and the dogs. And I was able to watch the cycling on television, which is becoming one of my passions. I've been thinking a lot about spirituality and spirituality without God or a divine figure, which some of you may think is surprising, but actually it's not, because I believe that the world and the universe and everything in it has a spiritual dimension, and all of us has a spiritual dimension. Excuse me while I just relight the pipe. I shall finish soon because I've been at 14 minutes, far too long. Please continue to pray for Mick and to think about Mick and send positive thoughts if you're not the praying kind. And also a lady who I know, I'm not going to give any names, but her child has admitted to murdering somebody a few years ago. I'm not going to say whether it's a boy or a girl, because I don't want any chance of you finding out who it is. But it made me think of, how does a parent react when their child turns out to have done such a terrible thing? You know, you want to continue to love your child, but also you've got to face the fact that somebody's died, and died in a very violent way. And what does that make you think about your child and about what they've done and how they've done it, and being capable of doing such a thing? Of course, we're all capable of doing such things. It's just that most of us are lucky enough not to have to come to that situation or to give in to it. I think one of the nice things about getting old is that some things lose their power, in the sense of you realise that life's about living. And the bad things are just that. They're just bad things that happen to us. And I would no more think of trying to get revenge than anything else. Anyway, I shall end there. May you all be richly blessed in your lives. May those of you who believe in God receive blessings in abundance. But may those blessings also give you some knowledge, some gift of wisdom, some gift of life. There are so many blessings that we have, so many good things that we need to be joyful about and to be thankful for. And sometimes we don't quite realise it. We just take them for granted. So may the blessings be with you, and may your God never let go of you. And again, for those of us who are agnostic or don't believe in God, well, we enjoy life to the full. We know what death is. We know that it's a part of life. I always think that death's the price we pay for being alive. It's the thing we go through, a bit like birth. And who knows what's at the end of that? Whether it be reincarnation, whether it be a heaven, whether it be completely the end. All those things are all right with me. Anyway, my love, prayers and blessings and thoughts be with you all.